Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
The family of Rashan Charles, who died in Hackney in East London after police apprehended him last weekend, have appealed for calm after a night of violence there. Bottles and fireworks were thrown at police following a demonstration. The Independent Police Commission is investigating the death of Mr Charles, who was 20 years old. Richard Lister reports.
The tension had been building all week, but yesterday afternoon a peaceful protest about the death of a black man in police custody began to turn into something else. The police were out in force, trying to maintain calm, but it didn't last. By 10 o'clock, a fleet of police vans was facing a burning barricade and an angry crowd. Fireworks and bottles were thrown. Hundreds of officers trying to keep people back.
Move away, the dogs are coming up!
Police in full riot gear repeatedly tried to clear the street. Mounted officers were brought in too. It took at least another hour for some kind of order to be established, debris still smouldering on the streets. This confrontation was sparked by the way Rashan Charles died. He was chased into a shop by police a week ago. Officers say he tried to swallow something. There was a struggle and he became ill. Just over an hour later, Rashan Charles was declared dead. He was 20. It stirred up deep grievances here. Rashan was the third black man to die during a police operation in a month.
We understand your frustration, we understand your anger. Don't feel that the family doesn't feel the frustration and the anger too. But what the family knows is taking it to the streets doesn't give you justice.
The council today has been trying to clean up and move on, but it says there's more work to do to address this community's anger.
One of the things we did after Monday night was ensure that the Independent Police Complaints Commission came down and held a meeting with young people and started to listen to their concerns, listen to what they'd seen on video, listen to what people were talking about, and I think that process has to continue.
The Independent Police Complaints Commission says it will seek to answer the questions from Rashan Charles's family about his death and will follow the evidence wherever it leads. Richard Lister, BBC News.
Shops and restaurant workers in East London were picking up the pieces today after clashes between protesters and police in Hackney last night. The incident took place a week after the death of 20-year-old Rashan Charles whilst in police custody. Today a vigil took place to remember him. Sarah Harris was there.
Doing the best he can to repair the damage to his restaurant window caused by last night's disorder in Dalston, East London. Fabio Stefana says his customers have stayed away today. Many were terrified at just after 10 o'clock last night.
There was this couple of ladies, very young, poor girls, and they were crying their head off because they thought there was a terrorist attack, because the noise was very, you couldn't hear it from anywhere.
The violence started last night after the vigil for Rashan Charles, the 20-year-old who died after being restrained by police officers. Bottles and fireworks were thrown at the police. Earlier today, another vigil was held outside Stoke Newington police station. Some believe young people's anger is understandable.
They're attacked by the police, they're attacked by the public, they're attacked by our own community. We need to stop that, putting it out on the media, because our young people are the victims, not the aggressors.
And if everyone is unhappy with the route that they're taking in retaliation, then provide an alternative. If there's no alternative given to young people, they're going to go exactly where the emotions take them.
In Dalston, these students came out to entertain, keen to show the positive side of East End youth.
We as mothers and fathers and parents of young people, we feel very compassionate about the loss of a young person, regardless of nobody deserves to die like this. But there is a way to go about getting your voice heard.
It's a sentiment shared by the family of Rashan Charles, who just want to know more about how their son died. Sarah Harris, BBC London News, Dalston in East London.
The family of a black man who died after being apprehended by the police have appealed for peace on the streets after unrest broke out in the wake of his death. Rashan Charles, who was 20, died in Dalston, East London, a week ago. Police have said that anyone who uses his death as an excuse to commit crime would be dealt with robustly. James Blake reports.
Frustrated and angry in a standoff with the police. This was yesterday evening in North London as crowds gathered outside the shop where just 1 week ago a young black man called Rashan Charles died after he was restrained by police officers. It started off as a peaceful protest in Dalston, but it turned violent. Fireworks were let off, petrol bombs thrown at police. A makeshift barricade was set alight on Kingsland Road as the riot police chased down the crowd.
Move away, the dogs are coming up!
The area didn't calm down until after midnight when the clean-up operation began. An ATM was smashed along with road signs, but local shops weren't apparently targeted, and this morning the junction had returned to normal as more people came to visit the growing shrine for Rashan Charles.
I was surprised because I think actually a lot of people have been calling for calm. I think you can never anticipate sometimes what is going to happen, and I think it's really important that you keep the lines of dialogue open and don't assume something is going to turn into unrest, because you can sometimes provoke that.
CCTV images show 20-year-old Rashan Charles being chased by police last Saturday. There are allegations that he tried to swallow an object as he was caught. Following the restraint, he was later pronounced dead in hospital. The Independent Police Complaints Commission is now investigating. A friend of his family describes her impression of that video.
When you look at the video, you can see that Rashan made no attempt to resist arrest. You can see when they was leaving the shop with him, and you see when the police body slammed him on the floor. It is very disturbing images for his friends.
Today, a number of figures, including local MP Diane Abbott, spoke out in support of the Charles family's quest for justice.
Violence is not the answer, but I am here to assure the parents and assure the community that I will stand by the parents in their fight for the truth.
It comes after the death last month of 25-year-old Edson da Costa after he was stopped and detained by police in Beckton. His father joined those speaking out today.
I'm feeling painful, I'm feeling sad, I'm praying God to get justice.
In a statement tonight, the Metropolitan Police says it supports the right to lawful protest, but disorderly behaviour will be dealt with robustly.
I've been getting